Alrighty, so I want to go over my 3-season backpacking layering system, and we're going to take a look at that and what it comprises of, because a good layering system will set you up for success in the backcountry and hopefully make it to where you do not get cold. And the purpose of a layering system is so that you can regulate temperature. Whether you start hiking and start to get hot, you can peel layers off, and then if it starts to get cooler, because maybe it's getting colder and you're on a stretch where there's not very much incline, and what you would want to do there is, as necessary, add layers so that you can again regulate your temperature, keep yourself warm, and then depending on your conditions, so that you can prevent hypothermia, especially if you get wet. That way you'll have extra layers to put on, and if it's raining, you can swap layers, and you'll be able to swap layers so that when you get into camp, if you have sleep clothes like I do, and you're hiking in the rain, you'll be able to switch into those dry, clean sleep clothes and be able to have a good night's sleep. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So this is my 3-season backpacking layering system. A backpacking system consists of 3 layers. You have your base layer, which is next to the skin, and it is meant to wick moisture away and keep your skin dry to prevent chafing, prevent you from getting cold, will provide light insulation. And those layers will consist of like underwear, your hiking shirt, if you don't have a layer underneath. It'd be underwear, socks, shirt, and then for me, I would also consider kind of like my hiking shorts to be part of that layer, because they help with that. But yeah, so the base layer is worn next to the skin, is designed to wick moisture, provide light insulation, and should also be quick drying. The next layer in the layering system is going to be the mid layer. This layer is for trapping heat and also aid in wicking moisture. Lastly, the shell layer. So this layer is supposed to be waterproof and also windproof. Mainly the qualities that you're looking for: all layers should be breathable, they should be moisture wicking, they should be insulating, as well as quick drying. With the exception, I guess, being the shell layer, because that's usually not going to be breathable, and it's also probably not going to be moisture wicking. But with the way that your system is, the moisture wicking qualities of the base layer and the mid layer allow for it to pull the moisture away from your body and then allow it to evaporate, keeping you dry, and then you also feel dry with it being moisture wicking.
I actually got some nectar.
Okay, so real quick, we're going to go over my layering system. So, we'll go over all the pieces, what I use, and then there's one in here that changes depending on temperatures. And then another thing to know your expected temperatures and conditions.
Yep. And
plan for at least 10 degrees colder when you're going backpacking. And then also, especially, familiarize yourself with your layering system. That way you know how it's going to work out for you, the temperatures it'll allow you to go down to, and then also your layering system can also complement your sleep system. You know what, let's go over base layers. So we'll start with, well, I guess what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing, shorts, and then I have it, obviously, underwear. My shorts, they are made of nylon, as well. Polyester for like the liner. And then my underwear, they are polyester, so they are all synthetic. And then my hiking shirt is also synthetic, and this is polyester and spandex. So they are all quick drying, they're all synthetic, so they keep you warm when wet. Yeah, which are also properties you want to look for. And then again, materials that you want to look for is polyester, wool, nylons, acrylic, which is what my hat is made of. Okay, so real quick, one of the parts of my layering system is my sleep pants. Yeah, so I use sleep clothes. These aid if you need them on cold early mornings. I don't usually wear these a whole lot in the morning, but I definitely do if it's colder, because these make, you know, getting up and starting your day while you're backpacking a lot easier. And then sleep clothes, I use them obviously to keep my bags clean. And then this is a long sleeve sleep shirt, and this can also be used for while hiking. I don't ever hike in this. These can also add to my layering system. So long sleeve sleep shirt and long sleep pants. All right, so those are base layers. Besides my shirt, my shorts, underwear, oh, socks. For socks, I wear Darn Tough as well as Injinji toe socks.
No.
As well as Injinji toe socks. Yeah, these are awesome. I believe they are polyester, and they are quick drying, and they are also very thin. And then the Darn Toughs, I usually hike in those if my feet are giving me problems, because the Darn Toughs work out amazing. They have a little bit more cushion in case you need that. And then they both dry fairly quick. The Injinjis, obviously, because they're a thinner material, definitely dry a whole lot faster. So next, I guess this also, so this is the start of the mid layers, but this is my sleep hat. So I wear this at night. It can also be used when it's cold outside, and again, probably when you're not hiking uphill. And then it can also be used when you're hiking in the 30s and 40s. This is made of acrylic and polyester. So that's the start of the mid layers. Next, we have my Melanzana hooded fleece. So this is a microgrid fleece. It is amazing. This is my first layer that I use to add on when it gets colder during the day. This has a hood, which can also be cinched during the summer months. This replaces my hat and can also replace the buff. So this is definitely dual purpose. It does have also the front kangaroo pocket, which I just use, you know, when my hands get cold. So that is the Melanzana. Next, we have gloves. So these are also part of my early spring and fall setup. So I got fingerless mitten gloves. Yeah, these are awesome. They're fairly thick. Yeah, these are usually too hot to hike in, but these are awesome. And these are also fleece, so they trap heat. The only thing that kind of is the downside of fleece is when you're wet and you put fleece on, it still feels wet. Even though it's warm, it still feels wet. So that's the only downside to fleece. But yeah, these are amazing. I've also had these for like going on 3 years now. Yeah, I like them so much I bought 2 pairs. So those are the fingerless gloves. And yeah, like I said, these are usually too hot to hike in. So when it is summertime, I have these, which these are just simple gloves, and these are just fingerless gloves. These are good for hiking, and these usually get used in the summer. So these are generally my summer gloves. Yeah, these are also made of polyester. They're like a polyester fleece. So I have those. These in the summertime months will replace the thicker spring fall gloves. But if I know it's gonna be cold, I definitely take these instead of these. So it's a trade-off, but having that ability to be able to choose is pretty awesome. And then sometimes if I know it's gonna be cold and hot, you know, conditions are gonna be kind of crazy, I'll obviously take both. So yeah, highly recommend gloves. The next part in my mid-layer system is gonna be my buff. So this has many uses. I mostly just use it when we're camping and it's in the 30s to cover my face and mouth, because usually when I'm sleeping, I breathe through my nose. So yeah, I use it for that. When it's colder, I'll also use it for a neck gaiter. You can use it for your head or use it as a sweatband. So yeah, buffs are awesome. Highly recommend them. These are also quick drying. I think this is made of, I think it's made of wool. So it doesn't dry quite as fast as the other stuff, but it does dry fast because it is thin. When we are camping into the 30s again, so this system, the way it fully is, can go down to like into the upper 20s while moving, obviously. And then in camp, you definitely don't want to sit around too long for that. But yeah, I've used this down into the 20s. It's very, very comfortable into the 30s, especially while hiking. And then the next part is my Patagonia men's down sweater. This thing is awesome. It is definitely starting to give up the ghost here. It's ripped. It is losing down. It's still fairly warm. Not as warm as it once was, as when I got it. Yeah, it's got holes everywhere. And most of this is just honest wear. Like, look at that. Yeah, it's leaking feathers everywhere. Yeah, and the reason it has so much wear is because I also use this daily at home. But yeah, this would, you know, if it's really cold, I'll use it on top of the Melanzana for added heat, and then also for sleeping. This is amazing while sleeping because it adds that much more temperature rating to my bag. And then last but not least, for the mid layer, I have my Montbell Tachyon wind pants. Now these don't get used a whole lot, but definitely they get used on cold mornings. These are great for also very windy ridges where it's too hot to wear, you know, the other mid layers, but I can throw on this and my rain jacket on top of this and stay warm while hiking, especially while going uphill. So yeah, these are awesome. And they are not waterproof, so that's another thing. These are not waterproof, they're just for wind. But for the weight, they're definitely worth it. And then the last part of my layering system is gonna be my tried and true Frog Togs rain jacket. I have had this same one for going on almost 4 years now. See, obviously I ripped it and on a tree. I snagged it on a tree like the first year I had it, but ever since it's been holding up. See, the inside's got the that little material's kind of fraying up there. You okay? You have to go potty? Yeah, see, it's got some wear on the outside, but this is my shell layers. This is the final part in my layering system. So this, coupled with this, is great wind protection. Also, this is the material's waterproof. The seams are not sealed, but with the way that they close them up, like, water doesn't really get through. Like, even in torrential downpour, like, this will keep you pretty darn dry. Like, you'll probably end up getting building up sweat and getting wet that way before like this leaks through. But yeah, this is amazing. I've had it forever. Oh, look at it, see? Just good, honest wear. But yeah, that is my rain jacket, and that completes my 3-season backpacking setup. I've used this in the snow, I've used this raining, I've used it as a wind jacket. Highly recommend it. Yeah, and the lining is like soft, so it doesn't feel weird against the skin. And then the outside is obviously that propylene shell, and it definitely sheds water. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is my 3-season backpacking clothing system.